Hi, my name's Kelly Brown, and I will be critiquing a media piece released by Time with the title, Zinc Lozenges May Help Colds Go Away 3 Times Faster. This piece was published in May of 2017 by author Amanda McMillan. This piece refers to a meta-analysis published in the Open Forum for Infectious Diseases titled, Zinc Acetate Lozenges May Improve the Recovery Rate of Common Cold Patients, an individual patient data meta-analysis. I will first discuss the research article. Previous meta-analyses came to the conclusion that zinc lozenges can decrease the duration of colds. The goal of this meta-analysis was to analyze the effect of zinc acetate lozenges on the recovery rate from the common cold and to estimate if the effect of zinc is altered by age, sex, race, allergies, smoking, or by baseline cold severity. Individual patient data was analyzed from 3 randomized double-blind placebo-controlled trials using 80 to 92 milligrams per day of zinc in the form of zinc acetate lozenges for 199 patients suffering from the common cold. When the results of the 3 studies were combined, the researchers found that zinc lozenges increased the rate of recovery from the common cold by 3 times. They also found that the effect of zinc lozenges on recovery from the common cold was not impacted by age, sex, race, allergies, smoking, or baseline common cold severity. It was discussed in the article that 5 previous meta-analyses found strong evidence that zinc lozenges can shorten the duration of colds, with duration being a time outcome. The authors of the present meta-analysis believe that survival analysis would be a more informative approach, and they were looking at the effect of zinc acetate lozenges on the rate of recovery from the common cold. Survival analysis is not confounded by outlier patients who have particularly long colds, which was a problem in previous studies. I thought that the research was fairly easy to understand. The conclusion was clear and addressed the main purpose of interest in this meta-analysis. The authors' conclusions were in line with the original intentions of the article. The purpose of this present IPD meta-analysis was to examine the effect of zinc acetate lozenges on the recovery rate from the common cold, as well as decide if the effect of the lozenges is altered by factors such as age, sex, race, the presence of allergies, smoking, or baseline common cold severity. The conclusions address the recovery rate tripling for common cold patients who take zinc acetate lozenges, and they also address the threefold increase not being altered by age, sex, race, allergies, smoking, or baseline common cold severity. I do agree with the researchers' conclusions, but I wonder if dietary and supplement intake would have an effect on the results for these common cold patients. There are many components of the diet that can inhibit zinc absorption. For example, we learned in class that excessive non-heme iron intake in supplement form inhibits the absorption of zinc. The authors didn't mention any specific strengths and weaknesses in the article itself. I made note that a weakness may be the lack of dietary and supplement intake data. This could have been helpful to determine if patients were getting zinc from other sources in addition to the lozenge, or if the patients were consuming nutrients that interfered with the absorption of zinc acetate lozenges. I think a major strength of the article was examining the effect of age, sex, race, allergies, smoking, and baseline common cold severity, as this makes the results relevant to a larger group of people. In the discussion section of this research article, the authors mentioned that zinc lozenges on the market have either too low doses of zinc to have an effect on recovery rate, or they contain substances that bind the zinc ions, such as citric acid. Therefore, the results of the present meta-analysis may not have much significance when referring to the many zinc lozenges that are on the current market. However, the threefold increase in recovery rate from the common cold when using zinc acetate lozenges with more than 75 milligrams per day of zinc is clinically important. I now just want to briefly comment on the quality of the research, including where the authors are from and when the trials were done. It is also important to explore if there are any conflicts of interest for these authors. This research article was published in 2017. The authors are Harri Hemala from the Department of Public Health at the University of Helsinki in Finland, James Fitzgerald from the Department of Learning Health Sciences at the University of Michigan Medical School, Edward Petrus from the Applied Medical Research in Austin, Texas, and Ananda Prasad from the Department of Oncology at Wayne State University School of Medicine in Detroit, Michigan. The studies on which the meta-analysis were conducted were all randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled trials from 1998, 2000, and 2008. The authors all reported no conflicts of interest, and the research for this meta-analysis received no grant from any funding agency in the public, commercial, or not-for-profit sectors. I will now go on to discuss the media piece by Time, which refers to the IPD meta-analysis on zinc acetate lozenges, which I just discussed. The author begins by stating that zinc lozenges may triple the rate of recovery from the common cold, according to a new meta-analysis of 3 studies. She then says that the promising results come with a caveat, because the studies looked at doses much higher than are commonly recommended by doctors, and according to the meta-analysis, not all zinc lozenges on the market are effective. This information was provided in the meta-analysis. The media piece describes where the paper was published, the number of subjects, the 80 to 92 milligrams of zinc per day versus a placebo, and they also mention that the 80 to 92 milligrams used is substantially higher than the recommended daily intake in the US, which is 11 milligrams for men and 8 milligrams for women daily. The author presented the data by saying that the results showed that 70% of the people taking zinc lozenges recovered from their colds after 5 days, compared to 27% of the people in the placebo group. She said that after adjusting for several factors, which were the factors described in the meta-analysis, that they found a 3.1-fold increase in improvement by taking a zinc supplement. The Time article states a tolerable upper intake level of 40 milligrams per day recommended by the National Academies of Sciences, Engineering, and Medicine, but this was not discussed in the meta-analysis. She does tie in what the author said about Wilson's disease, where patients take 150 milligrams per day of zinc as a standard treatment. The author also brings in a 2012 meta-analysis which cautions going above the upper limit for zinc and suggests striving for the daily recommended amount of all nutrients, including zinc, for overall health. This media piece by Time did a really good job in providing a lot of information and accurately reflecting the content of the research article itself. However, towards the end of this media piece, there were quotes and information provided by one of the authors from the research article, Hari Hamilla, but I could not find these quotes or some of the information in the research article. I discovered that Hari Hamilla was the author in the reference section on papers 2, 3, 4, and 6, which referred to previous meta-analyses which were discussed in the introduction of the current meta-analysis. The quotes may not have necessarily been inaccurate, but it was a bit misleading to say that the quotes came from the present meta-analysis that was being discussed in this Time article. This leaves the reader to have to dig through numerous research papers to find these exact quotes. In my future career as a nutrition professional, I know there will be times when a client will approach me with information from the media. If a client were to come to me with misinformation from articles in the media, I would do my own research to see where the media piece was finding its information and dig into the research article to see whether the media piece correctly reflects the information in the research article. It is important when practicing as a professional to use evidence-based research to provide the most up-to-date and accurate information for the client. Overall, I think the media piece provided pretty good information, summarizing the meta-analysis in a way that's easier to read and understand. For your reference, I have included the sources for the articles. The first one being for the meta-analysis published in the Open Forum for Infectious Diseases, and the second being for the Time article by Amanda McMillan. Thank you so much for listening to this media critique.